Hello and welcome to my channel, Talisman Tarot. In this reading I want to ask the cards and spirit directly through channeling about how your friends would describe you. And I have 7 groups here that you can choose from. This will be group number 1, this will be group number 2, this will be group number 3, this will be group number 4, this will be group number 5, this will be group number 6, and this will be group number 7. And so I will ask you to use your intuition and choose the group that speaks to you the most, the group that catches your eye, and that group will be your group. And if you need any more time to choose, just pause the video. But if you don't need any more time, then just head down to the description box below and find the timestamp for your particular group and click on that, and your reading should appear in front of you. And while you're down there in the description box below, make sure to check out my guide on how to book a personal reading from me. I love doing personal readings for you guys, so check that out. But let's focus on this reading right now. So please choose your group and I'll see you in your reading. Hello, group number 1. You chose this Jolanda Tarot deck, and I'm going to start with some channeling and then I'm going to shuffle these cards for you. So I'm going to do the channeling now. So Spirit, can you answer this question for group number 1, the people who will choose group number 1? How would group number 1's friends describe group number 1? Okay, so I'm sensing something about you being good at games or playing games. I feel like it's physical games, like board games or sports or something like that. I feel like somehow I'm sensing that a lot of you are quite good at winning at maybe board games, or or if you're like playing football just for fun outside, you might have won against some of your friends. Like maybe you're very good as a goalkeeper or something like that. But also I'm also sensing that for a lot of you this has to do with board games or drinking games or something like that. I'm also sensing that for some of you, I feel like your friends are very impressed with your ability to remember stuff, like memorizing rules in games, or memorizing maybe trivia, like random information, like for like playing Trivial Pursuit or something like that. You might know some things that your friends don't know, like maybe you're very good at memorizing what year, what happened this year and what happened that year, or when people were born, like or maybe something about zodiac signs, like maybe you know a lot of celebrities' zodiac signs, and maybe also a lot of other like famous people or big historical figures. You might know their zodiac sign. Maybe you know the zodiac sign of some of the big ones. Hitler, maybe. Like, I don't know why that was the first thing that popped into my mind, and some of you can maybe read into that, but I wouldn't recommend that you do so. It was really just a random thought. And so but yeah, like yeah. So I feel like your friends are very impressed with your ability to win board games or sports, and also your ability to remember details and remember years and like numbers and remember zodiac signs of different people and stuff like that. So yeah, just to summarize, so I'm gonna shuffle now. So okay, how would your friends describe you? Okay, so with the Ace of Cups reversed, I think people would describe you as someone who seems to have more masculine energy than feminine energy. Sometimes you might be a bit more logical, like when you're talking to your friends about maybe some political stuff or something something like that. You might always take the more logical, rational opinion, like, or that you might be more focused on statistics and numbers and facts. And that maybe you're also, like, from a political point of view, you might be more focused on growth and something like that, like development and growth and so yeah, yeah. But I think your friends would describe you as maybe not the most emotional person in the world, but you're very smart, very very logical, very rational. Seems to always have like the reasonable standpoint. Like you're the word of reason. Like also, if your friends get in an argument, I think you're the one who can kind of get people to stop arguing, because you just come in and summarize the whole. Like sometimes when you like, I feel like your friends feel like when you summarize an argument, they realize how ridiculous it actually is. Like you can come in like right into a heated argument and just say one line, one sentence, and that sentence will make them all realize that they are fighting over something silly. And so I feel like you're very good at just, yeah, seeing the situation for what it is, and looking at it from an objective point of view without letting too many of the heated emotions cloud your judgment. And so I feel like your friends, they look up to you, they see you as someone they kind of wish they would be themselves, like they would wish they were more like you sometimes, especially when they let their emotions get the best of them. Like then they think about you and think like, why can't I just be more like you and just not overreact. There's also something about the way you react to things. I feel like your friends see you as someone who always reacts in a very calm way. Like you don't get heated, you don't overreact, you just seem very peaceful, and so yeah. With the Magician reversed, I'm actually focused on the lightning, and with lightning there's thunder, and it makes me think about echoing other people or mimicking other people. But when it's reversed, I feel like your friends see you as someone who doesn't mimic other people. Like, you're not just saying what everybody else are saying. You come up with your own opinion. You don't just say what other people want to hear, and you don't act like somebody you're not. Like, you're very true to yourself. You say a lot of original things that I feel like your friends see you as someone who hasn't just memorized some lines that you're saying. Like, it comes from a place where, like, it's actually coming from your original mind. And I also feel like your friends, they feel very enlightened after talking to you, because it's like you say some things that they can't read in books, that they can't get from their teacher, or like they can't hear it from anybody else. It's like you have you have some ways of looking at things or looking at life, and or that your friends just feel like it's very you. It's very true to you, and they believe that it's something that you just have been brewing inside of you, and then you just spill it out to people, and it's like it's very original. Sometimes it's kind of a stretch. I feel like sometimes you might have some philosophical theories that you are brewing on, and I think they are, like, 95% of the time they are brilliant, and people just are blown away by it. But then like 5% of the time, it's like some of your friends might have like thought like, okay, this one is a bit like this is a stretch. Like it's like they have to like kind of bend it upside down in order to kind of see it, and then like they still feel like it's hard to kind of follow. And I don't even know if it's because it's a stretch or if it's just because they just don't follow what you're saying, because it's maybe a bit next level. But I don't know. But I feel like you definitely bring a lot of interesting things to the table, and I feel like your friends like to listen to you talk, even though I think they feel like sometimes they don't get to hear you talk as much as they would want to. And so I feel like some of you might be introverts, and so maybe you don't chat all the time. Like maybe you feel like sometimes it's okay to just sit back and let other people talk, and then you just listen and see if there's an opening for you to maybe bring something golden to the table. But it's like, I think some of your friends feel like sometimes they would really want to hear what you have to say, and at those times you're maybe a bit silent, and so they wonder if it's because you think they are idiots for talk. Like, especially if I feel like sometimes some of your friends get a bit self-conscious if they have a conversation with you and you don't say anything, because then they feel like, well, are you actually secretly judging them, or what, or why is it that you're so silent? But I think you're maybe just silent because you're thinking about something else, or maybe just kind of trying to gather some energy for the next conversation, or something like that. That you're maybe just sparing yourself in a way where but they don't know that, so they kind of feel like sometimes they kind of want your input just in order to kind of know if they are going the right direction with something. Like, especially, I feel like in your friend group, I feel like these people enjoy talking about philosophy and religion and politics and stuff like that, which is great. Like, sometimes it's rare to find a friend group that have those interests. So I think that's very cool that you have that. But I feel like sometimes it's like I feel like you're the one that has opened up to this in a way. I feel like, especially when it comes to philosophy, maybe, or religion, or spirituality, or something, like maybe you opened that door up. Like you might have started that conversation back in the day, and made the other people in your friend group, your other friends, you might have made them interested in it too. And so when they start talking about something like philosophy, spirituality, or religion, with you being there in the friend group, they kind of want you to say something, because they feel like if you don't say something, they might not have your approval. And so I think they kind of want your approval sometimes. Like, they want to know if they are on the right track, or if they are completely lost in this. But so I think there are I think some of your friends just want your expertise. Like, they want like a thumbs up from Papa. Like, and yeah, with the High Priestess, I think your friend groups would describe you as a bit mysterious. Like, they don't always follow the way your mind works. Like, they don't and I feel like they have a lot of respect for this, that the way your mind works, because it's like you can always come up with like some original response to anything, and so they find it a bit mysterious. Like, I feel like some of your friends kind of feel like you're not from this planet, that it's like some of the things you say, it's like it's superhuman in a way, and so that's cool. But with the Two of Cups reversed, I do sense kind of that they would probably describe you as someone who doesn't give a lot of yourself to people, that you're a listener, but maybe not a sharer, that you listen to people's problems, you give them feedback, you give them advice on how to move forward. But it's like when your friends want to help you, you're maybe a bit closed off, and you might say like you don't need any help, like, or that you don't really like that you don't have any problems in your life to talk about, so it's just boring to talk about you or something like that. And I think they kind of want, I think some of your friends want you to maybe accept or maybe share a bit more of yourself with them. Just share some more intimate details about your life, something that can make them feel like they are not oversharing. Because I think maybe your friends, like when your friends talk to you, they might share a lot of personal information with you about their life and their soul and everything that they want to share with you, and they do it frequently, I think. And I think it's mostly because you ask them, so they answer because you ask them a lot, some deeper questions, and they really like that about you. But it's like when they feel like you're not sharing, they feel like they are oversharing in the conversation, and they go afterwards, after the conversation, they think to themselves whether they were too much or whether they shared too much with you. Like they get self-conscious about it because they feel like they shared a lot of personal information, a bit too much information, and then like you didn't share anything, and so they feel like a bit like there's an imbalance, and they might be a bit afraid that you're gonna get tired of just listening to them, and when you're, I think they think of it a lot from your point of view, and they feel like that must be unfair to you, even though you're the one choosing this. So it's not like, I don't think you see it that way. I think you'd like to listen to people's problems, and it seems like it's not like you might not come up with the most emotional responses, but you come up with some of the more, like I think you enjoy giving people advice and sharing your 2 cents with them. And I think you also just really like to fix things, like fix situations, like. So yeah, but I think they see that. Yeah, I'm gonna shuffle some of these archetype cards to get a bit more information about how your friends would describe you. Okay, so with a blank card, I feel like they have a hard time describing you deeply, like in depth, give an in-depth description of you, because there are a lot of things that your friends don't know about you, and they would wish they knew. But I feel like they feel like there are certain aspects of your life that they have absolutely no idea of, because they might meet you, I don't know where you meet your friends, but maybe you meet your friends at your school or at your workplace or at parties or something. I don't know, but I think they you have these deep conversations with them when you're there, when you're with them, talking to them. But I think none of them actually know what you do when you're all alone in your home. Do you watch television? Do you have some hobbies? Or I think there is some mysticism about who you are personally, when you're just all alone. And I think they also, I think there are some things about your family dynamic that your friends don't know about. They don't know if you're a lonely, if you're an only child, or if you're if you come from a big sibling group. There are some things that this person, that these friends, they don't know. they don't know, or there might be just one person, one particular person in your friend group who feels like you're a mystery to them, that they don't know, like they feel like they know you very well because they have talked to you for a long time, like they've had these brilliant talks with you, but it's like they just don't. I think they want to know. They want to know you better. Like they really want to know what makes you tick. What, and I feel like there might be someone in your friend group. I know I'm kind of going off the rails here, but like it's like I feel like there is someone in your friend group who has more interest in you than the others. And I feel like this person could have romantic interest in you. And I feel like it's someone who feels like they don't know you as much as and I feel like this person might have met you, just you two, like one-on-one, and you might have gone somewhere. I know this is very specific, but you might have gone somewhere with this person, like to a museum or something, just the two of you. And I think this person felt strange because you two had nothing to talk about, but you usually have a lot to talk about when you're with your other friends. And so, like, this person was a bit confused because this person thought you would hit it off. And that was also why this person invited you to do something one-on-one. I don't know if it was this person who invited you, but I think they accepted the invite if it was you who invited them, because I feel like they accepted it because they thought you two would hit it off as much as you do when you're around the other friends. But it's like this person just suddenly felt like they didn't know you at all, because suddenly the dynamic was completely different when they had you one-on-one. But that was and I feel like this person, if this resonates with you, if this sounds familiar, I think this person is interested in you romantically, but they feel like there is this barrier, that it's hard to get close to you. It's like they feel like you have maybe a bit of a calm energy, but maybe a bit of a passive energy towards this person. This one person in your friend group feels like a bit rejected by you when they were talking to you one-on-one, but felt an instant connection with you when you were together in a group setting. So it's, I don't know. But yeah. But I think that's all I have for you. I hope this reading was helpful. And if you want a personal reading from me, check the description box below for more information on how to get one. And have a great day, and bye. Hello, group number 2. You chose this Tarot Cats tarot deck, and I'm going to start with some channeling, and then I'm going to shuffle these cards for you. So I'm going to do the channeling now. So Spirit, can you answer this question for group number 2, the people who will choose group number 2? Group number 2. How would group number 2's friends describe group number 2? Okay, so I feel like some of your friends kind of miss you. Like, I don't know if your friends are like maybe your classmates or your colleagues or something like that, but it's like I feel like you have had some absence from maybe your work, or maybe your school, like something like I feel like there's something about some absence here, like that, and I think your friends seem to miss you right now. Like they feel like they don't get enough of you, like that they feel like they got more of you in the past, like they got to see you more in the past, that you used to be very close with them, and now I think your friends just feel like there's just this disconnection between you and them, like, and maybe your friends are like individual friends, where it's like maybe it's not a friend group, but just friends that are maybe placed like in different places geographically, like from you. So maybe you have one friend in your local area, but then you have many friends like spread around the country, or maybe even some that have residence in a foreign country. I don't know, but it's like I just feel like it's not like you have this friend group, but I feel like there is also a friend group, like some classmates or some. But I don't know if you have recently, like or maybe you don't go. Maybe you're not studying anymore. Like maybe you. Maybe you're finished studying, and so maybe your classmates or former classmates also have stopped, like have finished studying, so they are all around the globe, or like and living their lives separately, and it's like I feel like some of your friends really miss talking to you. I feel like some of your friends have like thought about contacting you plenty of times. Like I feel like they see that you have, like they feel a closeness to you, and I also feel like there's a lot of like communication, maybe through comments on Facebook. Like maybe you comment on their pictures, and they comment on your pictures, and so there is this feeling of a united energy, where you feel where they feel like they are very close to you still, but it's like there's just this need of someone to just try to, like, I feel like they might be waiting for you to contact them, and you might be waiting for them to contact you, and so there is a passive energy, but I feel like your friends really miss you. Like they want to spend more time with you. I feel like there are also like those of your friends who live in a foreign country. They also like really miss you. Like they feel like there's so much distance between you two, and that I feel like someone has like tried to get you to come visit, and maybe you have felt like it's too far away, like that it's maybe not realistic, but I think this person just really wants to. But yeah, to the whole question, I'm gonna answer the question here, like how your friends would describe you. So I feel like they would describe you as very fun to talk to. Like you always have like something funny to say, and you always have a way to uplift people, even when you're not being like, even when you're not making jokes or something like that. You have just this way of just uplifting people, making people feel good about themselves, making people feel optimistic and positive about the future, and about things in their life. And like, you have a positive point of view. Like you're very, and this positivity is very very infectious in a way. Like it makes people feel like they instantly get in a better mood after talking to you, and they also feel like they can really they can unload on you. Like they can come with their darkest secrets and their hardest trauma, and talk to you about it, and somehow you can get them in a good mood. Like you can somehow make them look at their situation from some more, like that you have just this very compassionate, very empathetic energy, where you're very good at making people feel like you understand them, like you get them, you get that you're not like, you don't have like toxic positivity. Like you're not it's not like you're like just saying like, oh, you should just get your shit together, like you and be more positive suddenly, and that they can just get out of their addiction by just thinking positively or something, or if like, but there's like there's not none of that. Like you don't give people the sense of judgment. Like people don't feel judged by you. Every time they unload their issues onto you, they feel like you see them, you understand what they're going through, and you can empathize and meet them with compassion, and you're not like, you're not telling them that they should just smile more or just move on and be more positive and exercise more and drink more water and take vitamin D supplements and like you're not one of those who give unsolicited advice. Like you're not someone who just like you're much better at making people just feel good and feel like, yeah, I don't know, I can't really explain this further, so I'm gonna ask the cards about it. So how would group number 2's friends describe group number 2? Okay, so with the Strength card reversed, people see you as someone who is not afraid of showing weakness. They would describe you as someone who is very honest and very honest about your own like your own lacks or the things that you're not very good at. Like you don't say like you're good at everything, or like you don't pretend to be someone who can do everything. Like you're not afraid of telling people that you're horrible at cooking or something like that. You're not afraid of saying that maybe you're that you would maybe rather go to McDonald's than go to a fancy restaurant or something like that. You're not. I know this is specific for some of you, but like I know, take what resonates. But I feel like your friends see you as someone who's not afraid of being true to yourself and showing people that you have flaws, or like even though they are of course not flaws, but like that you're not trying to put up a front. You're not trying to impress people by saying certain things that like you're not acting like you're super strong, or like that you can do that you can just bulldoze through life and that you don't need to rest, or like that you're like if you were hiking a mountain, you would say like that this is really hard. Instead, you wouldn't be one of those who just say like that, oh, this is so easy, while being obviously very exhausted, but like trying to like smile through and say, oh, this is nothing, like, but people can tell like from the way you're breathing, like, so it's like, so I feel like people see you as very real, very genuine. You don't try to people just see you as a very genuine person, and it's very refreshing. And I think it's your friends. I keep saying people, but people are your friends. I feel like you are friends with the people that you know. Like so for me to say people, I think like it also gives me a hint that I feel like the most of the people that you encounter throughout your life, they become your friends. I think you have a likability. People like you from the start. Like when they meet you, they like you instantly, and they want to be friends with you instantly. And I feel like it's because you have this genuine, authentic energy, this beautiful energy. Like it's very refreshing. It's very true and real. And yeah, with the Temperance card, I feel like your friends would describe you as very balanced. That they don't think of you as someone who gets mad. They see you as very well-tempered, or like you don't have a temper. Like you seem like someone who is calm even in situations where people would maybe expect you to maybe raise your voice or something like that. But it's like you seem very very peaceful, and also that you have this light and bright personality where, like, even if someone isn't that nice to you, you kind of kill them with kindness. Like you have the ability to just smile and move on. Like it's like, even though I know that I said the thing about you being genuine and not smiling through everything, every hard thing, but I feel like it's more like it has more to do with things that like if you were exercising with some people who were trying to fool you into believing that they actually thought it was the easiest thing in the world, then you're not gonna try to like make it into a competition on who can fool people the most, like by acting like unbothered by whatever you're doing. But I feel like when you're talking to someone who is maybe, I feel like it also just has to do with you being non-judgmental. Like you seem to be genuinely very tolerant towards people, and like even if you're talking to someone who is kind of hard to talk to, like because the person might say some things that would offend other people, but I feel like you're just very good at seeing the intention behind the words, so that you're seeing, you're not just focusing on the way that people phrase their words, like and it. I think you can see if it's coming from a pure place. You can see if someone has actually good intentions, but just keeps making it hard on themselves by kind of, stumbling on their words. Like I think you have the patience and the tolerance towards people. You don't get annoyed easily. And even if somebody offends you, I think you have a way of just saying like, well, that's probably not a person I'm gonna spend a lot of time with in the future. But but right now I'm just gonna leave it. I'm not gonna make a scene about it. And I think your friends really like that, even though I know it's. And I know it's okay to react to certain people. Like you don't have to be so what's it called? Like so so you don't have to be so peaceful. Like sometimes it's okay to say to someone if that they are crossing a line, and I think you also do that if it's actually that serious. But if it's just some small offensive remarks that can be misunderstood, maybe, like, or who knows, like then you're not gonna make a big scene about it. And I think your friends see you as very tolerant. They see you as someone who keeps your calm even in situations where your friends might have lost it like a bit. And I feel like there's also something about maybe your family situation where maybe some of your friends feel like they would have never been able to act so calmly as you have. Like maybe you have talked about some incidences that happened within your family where everybody got into some big drama about something, and you might have just kind of kept yourself out of it because you didn't really want to be a part of it. And I think your friends just feel like that's something they wouldn't have been able to do, because they would have wanted to get in there and like really get their hands dirty with it. Like they want, I think they would have wanted to say something, and I think they also want to say something on your behalf. Like I think your friends feel like sometimes they want to just take some, like reach out to some of your family members and just ask them like, what the hell are they thinking? So yeah, I think your friends would describe you as very peaceful and balanced and calm, and with the Queen of Pentacles reversed, I think your friends would maybe describe you as someone who doesn't care about money, like that you don't care about like making a big fuss. Like you don't need to pose for the camera, like making like you don't, like, if you want to go on a vacation, I think you would rather go camping than go on some like 5-star hotel. And I think you're just more like you don't want that Instagram perfect life where you can post all these perfect pictures of like of fancy hotels and fancy pools and like all of that. I think that's kind of a world that you take a distance from because it's so fake, or it seems fake at least. I know it's real for some people, but it does seem like people, like, you can kind of like, yeah, I think you're keeping it more real, I think. So and I think your friends really like that you're not competing to be the one who has the most money and the most fame and the most fancy things and the biggest house and the biggest car, and that it's like they feel like you're their realist friend, like, because you don't pay attention to that stuff. You're yeah. And with the sun card, I think your friends just see you as the sun, positive, light, bright. You have this pure heart, and you're just a very pure soul, and very, very joyful, and you make people happy around you. Like you're good at making people laugh. You're good at making people feel comfortable. You're good at also creating a home that is very inviting. I think your home is very, very well decorated. Like, it's very homey and very cozy, with a lot of blankets and a lot of pillows, and I don't know, but I feel like you're just very good at making it useful instead of making it look perfect for the camera. Like, you don't care, like, you would rather have a couch that is not Instagram friendly, but very, very nice to sit in, like very comfortable to sit in. Like, that's the most important part, because people are going to sit in it, and they need to be comfortable. And I think your friends just really like the way that you have this great hospitality. Like, you're very good at thinking about your friends. Like, when your friends come visit you, you're very good at being a good host. You're always thinking about making them comfortable, and I think they really like that about you, and that you just have a very uplifting way, like a very uplifting personality. Like, you're very, you shine very bright. It's And with the 8 of Cups reversed, I think they like that you don't quit. And I feel like that it has to do with both people, like, and things. Like, I think they like that you don't quit on them. I feel like that is mostly that, even though they might miss you, and I think the ones that miss you a lot, they know that it's a two-way street. Like, they know that they are also responsible for not keeping the contact alive. Like, they know that it's 50-50. It's as much their fault as it is yours. But I feel like it's just so nice that they know that they never have to be afraid that it's because you have quitted them, or like that you have that you're quitting on this connection between you and them. Like, that they never think it's because you're holding a grudge against them, or because you just suddenly don't like them anymore. They know that it's just because it's been a long time since there has been an event where you could meet up. Like, it's been a long time since there has been an occasion to meet. So it's just natural that you drift a bit away from each other. But they know that the second you two are gonna, or you like that's for all of your friends. Like they all individually think this, or most of them do, that at the instant moment they reach out to you or you reach out to them, it's gonna feel like no time has passed. Like it's gonna feel like they can just pick up the thread where they left it the last time. Like it's like it's like they just know they can just always get this friendship to peak again. Like that the friendship has not peaked at all. Like that there's always gonna be a possibility to get your friendship back on track and back to where it used to be, because it just feels like that way when you start talking again. It's like no time has passed. So yeah. But I also feel like they would describe you as someone who isn't a quitter either. Like you don't quit on the things that that are important for you in your life, the things that you start doing, the things that are passion projects for you, and yeah, and you don't cut people out of your life just because they say something to you. Like you give people second chances, and I feel like some of your friends are really happy about that, because maybe one of your friends kind of called you while they were drunk or something, and they, I think afterwards they thought that it was super embarrassing and that you probably don't want to speak to them at all after this conversation they had with you drunk. But I think they contacted you the next day. I know this is specific, but I think this person contacted you the next day and realized that you're just not someone who quits on people. You're not someone who cuts people out of your life just because they make one mistake. And I think that is also why they know you're a real friend. Like you're someone who's a ride or die. Like you're someone who's gonna be there even in the bad times. So yeah. But I think that's all I have for you, group number 2. I hope this reading was helpful, and have a great day, and bye. Hello, group number 3. You chose this Tarot de Marseille tarot deck, and I'm going to start with some channeling, and then I'm going to shuffle these cards for you. So I'm going to do the channeling now. So Spirit, can you answer this question for group number 3, the people who will choose group number 3? How would group number 3's friends describe group number 3? Okay, so I'm sensing that your friends would describe you as funny and very easygoing and very easy to talk to. Like there's no barrier. Like it's like they can just talk to you about anything. And it's also like I feel like your friends see you as very tolerant. Like you're not scared away easily. Like if they talk about some more intimate subjects, like maybe orgasm or other sexual things, or fetishes, or something that's maybe not comfortable for everyone to talk about. But I feel like your friends see you as someone who who doesn't judge anyone for talking about something like that, and you give your 2 cents about it, like you're gonna share what you think about, or your advice, or whatever you have in mind when you think about that topic, or like you're not gonna you're not filtered, like you're not censoring yourself, and you're very you're very blunt also, I think, and I think your friends really like that about you, that you speak your mind, and you dare to say things that might be a bit controversial. But I'm going to shuffle and see what the cards have to say about how your friends would describe you. And so with the Hierophant reversed, I think your friends would describe you as alternative, like that you have an alternative way of being, like you're maybe also into some alternative stuff, like maybe tantra, or alternative healing, or alternative medicine, or like Reiki healing, energy healing, and I think your friends see you as someone who's very open to also the more spiritual stuff, and that you're not someone who's caught up in like the conventional stuff, like that you're not narrowing your, like you're not narrow-minded, like you're very open-minded, you're very open to new ideas, new perspectives, new beliefs. Like you don't, like you want to, like if somebody talks about something that sounds a bit wacky at first, like maybe something about aliens or conspiracy theories and stuff like that, you might not dismiss it at first. Like you want to kind of hear the person out and hear what they think, even if you already know that you're probably not going to agree with this person, but you still want to give that person a chance to explain their point of view, so that you could maybe be enlightened, or maybe not, but it's like it's still worth the try. And I think your friends see you as this open-minded person, that you are good at humoring new ideas, like and also entertaining the possibility that you might be wrong about some things. Is that you're not caught up in your own ideas, like either, like you're not stubborn in your ways. Like if you believe something and somebody says that they believe the complete opposite, you're not gonna tell that person that they are wrong from the get-go. You're gonna tell that person that they are welcome to try to change your mind, like, and see if they can, because that is an interesting practice on its own. Like it's interesting to see if somebody actually can make a good point and gather the evidence, create good arguments, and talk their case and defend their case. And I think I think your friends see you as like a bit of a lawyer too, like that you might play the devil's advocate sometimes, like you might enjoy just arguing some other belief that might not be your own, just to see if it actually is something that can hold water, like see if it can see if it's going to crumble under the pressure, or see if it can actually stand tall. Like, and it's you kind of like when you have like some wacky point of view, like you can see if it actually makes sense. Like if you like, everything can somehow make sense if you just gather enough evidence and gather enough theories and give up like the like there is something interesting there, and I think your friends see that you're kind of interested in that whole thing, and that it's also very fun to be with to go maybe downtown, like to bars with you, because I think your friends always feel like it's like you can smell out, you can sniff out the people that are gonna be interesting to talk to. Like even when you go to a bar where you know absolutely no one in that bar, but somehow you just know exactly what table to go to, where there is someone who has some interesting ideas or interesting theories about life. And like it's like you have just a radar for that. And I think your friends really find that hilarious, actually, listening to you argue with some bum or someone at a bar at 3 a.m. talking about like flat earth theory or something, like that it's just it's interesting, it's fun, it's like I think your friends always feel like when you're with them, you always make it into some kind of adventure. Like it's always like there's something that comes out of it, something fun, something interesting. Like you're, and with the Hanged Man, I think your friends see you as this very enlightened person also. Like this, that you have like this upside down point of view. Like you can see the world from upside down. You can put things like you can test things out. You can like it's like you just have a lot of very interesting ideas. Very and it's just very fun to talk to you. Like some of your friends might feel like sometimes you're a bit late, and sometimes it's a bit hard to get a hold of you, but they also know who you are and how you are as a person, and so they don't get offended and they don't take it personally. But sometimes maybe like especially if you go downtown with some friends, like go bar hopping or something like that, they might end up losing you. Like your friends might end up losing you, and it's because you started talking to somebody, some random person at a bar or something. Like, and I think your friends like might have been worried about you sometimes, where they couldn't get a hold on you. Like they tried to call you, but you didn't answer the phone, and they were really like they didn't know where you were. And so there's that thing that they feel like sometimes it's maybe a bit hard to keep track on you. And maybe also sometimes you might be a bit too late for things. Like maybe you sometimes get caught up in something else, like maybe a conversation with someone, and then you realize like halfway through that conversation that shit, you actually had something else that you were supposed to do. And so maybe your friends feel like you don't always have the best sense of time, but that they know why it is. Like they know that it's not because you're it's not because you don't want to meet up with them. It's because you just lost track of time. So they know you, and so they make excuses for you. They don't they don't take it personally, so that's good. But with the world reversed, I feel like your friends, they would describe you as someone who sees every end as an opportunity for a new beginning. Like you don't get I feel like your friends are very like they respect you a lot for this. Because like they really wish they were a bit more like you because of your way of looking at endings, like endings of certain cycles in your life. Like you don't cry over something being over. You just move on and start something new and fun and exciting. Like you just get excited about the next chapter instead of grieving over an era being gone. Like that it's now it's just a distant memory and stuff like you don't get sentimental about stuff like that. You just want to like create new memories. And I think your friends just find that really refreshing. Maybe you also have that same way of looking at breakups. Like if you break up with a boyfriend or a girlfriend, you might just tell your friends that like that was it, and now you just want to move on and find someone new and start your new chapter. The next chapter of your love life, like that you don't get super affected by it. Or maybe your friends just feel that way because that's what you tell them. Maybe it's not maybe it's a bit more nuanced in real life. Like maybe you get a bit sad about it, but you might put up a front. Like you might act like you're just okay. But so I don't know if it's completely how you are like deep down, but that's the version of you that your friends see. I'm gonna shuffle some of these archetype cards to get a bit more information about how your friends would describe you. The Fool reversed. So I think they don't see you as a fool. They see you as someone who is surprisingly smart. Maybe sometimes you kind of act a bit like you're not that smart, or maybe you say that. Like maybe you say that you're not that smart and you don't know that much about whatever. But at the end of the day, your friends know that it's all bullshit. Like they know that you are actually very smart and that you know a lot about the things, especially the things that you tell them that you don't know anything about. And they know that that's your cue. Like that they know that they actually have to ask you more about that because you're probably really, really wise in especially that topic, the topic that you told them that you know nothing about. Like, and so I feel like your friends have you kind of they know some of your I don't know, defense mechanisms. Like sometimes you might say that you don't know something just so that you don't get judgment if you don't know everything about it. Like I know it puts you on the spot. Like if you tell people that you know a lot about something, it puts you on the spot and makes people expect a lot from you. And so it's easier to disappoint people when you tell them that you know everything about something. But if you tell people that you know absolutely nothing about something, then they have no expectations, and then you can't disappoint. And so it makes sense. But I think your friends have caught up with this. Like they know this. They have seen through it. So so you can't really use it anymore, especially not for those friends that you have known for a long time, those friends who know you the best. Like, it seems like it doesn't really work on them anymore. But yeah, I think your friends definitely see you as, definitely would describe you as much smarter than you make yourself out to be. Like that you're very humble, and that you like to make yourself the butt of the joke, and you like to make jokes about maybe your own own lacks and your own flaws and your own the things that you like, but it's like they know that many of the jokes are actually not based in reality, like that it's just something you say about yourself, like, but I don't know. I'm gonna shuffle just one more card. So Avenger. So I think they see you as someone, I feel like your friends see you as a bit of an avenger. Like, this card says desire to balance the scales of justice, righteousness on behalf of society or oneself. I think they see you as a as someone who's like, I think they would describe you as someone who is very I feel like it's just a lawyer card, actually, like that you're that maybe many of you are not actually schooled in law, but you're like still kind of practicing law in, like, when you go out in a bar, or like when you're with your friends, because it's like you're even though you don't have a degree in law or the legal system, then it still seems like you know everything about it, like you're and you're already kind of acting like a lawyer sometimes, and so I think they feel like it's like like you could as well just be a lawyer, because you just I feel like you know a lot of paragraphs, and so but yeah, and it's kind of like this yeah, I feel like people also see you as someone who fights for justice, like they or your friends would see you as someone who fights for justice. They would describe you as someone who has a very good moral compass. Even when you play, like, I know that you might play the devil's advocate sometimes, but I feel like your friends know when you do that. Like, they know when to take you seriously and when not to. But when they need to take when they know they should take you seriously, they also know that it's actually something that is a big passion of yours. Like something, like if you're, I feel like there are some things that you care a lot about. It could be the rights of certain minority groups, or something like that. That is a very that weighs really heavily on your soul. Like it something that seems like maybe you feel guided towards this cause, like, and so it means a lot to you. I don't know, but I feel like they yeah. So, but yeah, I think that's all I have for you. Group number 3, I hope this reading was helpful, and have a great day, and bye. Hello, group number 4, you chose this Sola Busca tarot deck, and I'm going to start with some channeling, and then I'm going to shuffle these cards for you. So I'm going to do the channeling now. So Spirit, can you answer this question for group number 4, the people who will choose group number 4? How would their friends describe them? How would group number 4's friends describe them? Okay, so I'm sensing that your friends would describe you as a very good friend, but they also would describe you as very busy. Like maybe this is more like currently. So maybe currently you are a bit busy. Like maybe sometimes you don't text back right away because you have a big workload that you have to take care of. Maybe you have a full-time job, but also a lot of things going on, like in your life, like maybe in your family life. Like you might have a lot of things that you need to take care of right now, and maybe at the moment your friends are maybe a bit further down on the priority list than they were before. Like maybe a few years ago you might have been more invested in your friend's life, but I feel like they understand it. Like they seem very understanding. They understand that you don't have the time for them at the moment, but they still see you as a very good friend, and they are very grateful for some of the things that you did for them. Like I feel like you have helped your friends in the past, and I feel like you have given your friends some very good advice in the past that your friends still think about to this day. Like they still remember it, and they might even like talk about it sometimes with your other friends or with other people in their life, and they might. I feel like there might be like one of your like catchphrases, or it might just be something you said once, but it seems like it might have become a catchphrase in one of your friends, for one of your friends. Like I think, or not a catchphrase, but something they say frequently. Like maybe you said something that sounded very much like an idiom, like something like, and I think this has passed on, like might even have passed on to the next generation. Like if you have some slightly older friends that or maybe friends that are the same age as you, I don't know, but you might have friends that have children, and I think they might have passed some of your golden lines down to their children. Like so I feel like you have played a very big role in many of your friends' life. And I feel like your friends would describe you as someone who gives very good advice, that you're very good at constructive criticism, that you're good at not just bashing them, not just telling them what to do, but actually giving them constructive feedback that they can actually use for something. Like that doesn't seem that bad because it's like, because you have a very good way of delivering constructive feedback, so that your friends actually listen and don't just get mad at you, but actually take it into account. So yeah. But I'm going to shuffle and see what the cards have to say about how your friends would describe you. Okay. So, with the Two of Swords, I feel like your friends, they see you as very balanced, like that you and that you also, like with this card here, like that you pass on some of that balance to them, like that you're very good at making them feel balanced too. Like sometimes, like if you have some friends or one friend who has had some episodes in the past where they might have drifted a bit out of reality, or not, like kind of drifted into some small delusion. I don't know. But I think this person, this friend, feels like you're one of the few people who can actually make them get back down to earth, and that you have a very grounding energy on them, that you can make them feel like they have a connection to to reality. And with the Nine of Pentacles, I feel like your friends would describe you as very independent. Like you never need anything from anyone. Like I feel like they might see you as this person who helps others, but nobody ever helps you. That somehow, I feel like your friends wishes that it was different, that it wasn't like this, because it's a bit unfair. Like the balance is a bit unfair. It's like there's maybe they feel like you're a bit too self-sacrificing, and so I think that is also why they actually accept that you're too busy. Like that you, maybe they also feel like maybe you're saying that you're too busy in a way to protect yourself, and they understand that because they know that you always give everything you got to people. Like you always help whenever you can. And so for you to say that you're busy sometimes when your friends call you or text you, or like that, they get it, they understand it. It might not seem that way to you because they keep contacting you, but they do understand it. Actually, I think they, like, some of them might have a bit of a hard time understanding it, but for others, I think they completely understand, and I think they just want you to ignore their messages if you don't have the time for them. Like, but they still kind of want to send them because they want the closeness to you. Like they want to, like maybe they also feel like they only can reach out to, like maybe they feel like the only way to get in contact with you is if they have a problem. Like maybe like if you send this person a text message and there's no question mark at the end, I think they might sometimes not bother. Like that you might not bother. Sorry, this is hard to describe. I'm kind of getting off the main thing. I'm just gonna wire it back up. Like yeah, I think you might sometimes. And this might also be them. Like this might also be your friends who don't bother, who sometimes don't bother to answer your texts because maybe you send some text to some of your friends and you might get hurt that they don't text you back, especially because you are such a self-sacrificing person. So, but I feel like maybe the reason why they don't text you back is because maybe you send some text, maybe you have sent some text to one of your friends that didn't have a question mark in it, and then that person felt like it wasn't that urgent because it wasn't actually a question, and so they might not have felt like there was any reason to actually respond because they didn't feel like there was a question to respond to. So there might be something like that. If you are currently a bit hurt about someone leaving you unread, I think if you send that person a question, I think they would respond. I think it's mostly because there's just no question mark in the previous text. It didn't sound like a question, it sounded like just a statement, and I think they just felt like that was that it was enough for you to just know that they had read it, but they didn't know if they actually should have responded to it. So just to clear that out. But I feel like you might also sometimes feel like when people I don't know, like I just wanted to clear that out. I think I'm gonna move on from that because I think I have kind of covered that. But I think with the Nine of Pentacles, I think some of your friends might feel like feel like they don't know how to interact with you unless they want something from you, and that is probably something that you have felt like that some of your friends might have a bit of a demanding energy where it's like they only reach out if they have a problem that needs to be solved. But I think it might be a way for them to get your attention, like that they feel like if they don't come with something urgent, then you're just gonna respond and say that you're too busy, or like that. I don't know, but this might be for some of your friends, like for one of your friends, and so it might be different from friend to friend. But yeah, with the Sun card, I think they see you. I think your friends would describe you as very joyful when you're like when you're not stressed out and super busy. You're very fun to be, and I think you're also fun to be around when you're stressed out. But it's like I think people wishes that you had a bit more spare time. Because I think sometimes your friends want to do something fun, like just something that doesn't have anything to do with work or school or anything related to kids or any, like, I think they just don't, they just sometimes want to rewind and just go relax at a like at a party or like or at a at like, yeah, some, I think maybe they feel like you're too busy for parties and going out and vacations together and stuff like that, and I think they wish you had some more spare time so that you could go out and do some fun things. And that maybe they are a bit afraid that you're isolating yourself a bit too much. But that's maybe your way of sparing yourself, or like making sure that you're recharging your energy. Maybe you're an introvert and maybe most of your friends are extroverts, so maybe they don't really understand why you need this time alone to recharge. So I don't know, but so with the Fool card, I think people's I think your friends, like, I'm kind of focused on this bird here. Like, it's, you can see that the feet are like really holding on to the skin of this person. Like, it's grabbing onto the skin and kind of pulling it. And if you can see it, yeah. And I feel like your friends see you as someone who gets pulled by other people in your life. Like, maybe your friends see how maybe some people in your life are taking advantage of you. Like, maybe your family, some of your family members. And so I think your friends feel like maybe you should prioritize your friends and maybe stop prioritizing these toxic family members so high. Like, maybe they feel like there are some people in your life that you're giving too much attention. And maybe there's also like, maybe sometimes your friends see you like on your phone and you're like having like some dispute or like some argument with someone on your phone, and I feel like your friends just like think like, why bother? Like, why are you bothering with that? Like, why not just leave it alone? Like, so, but this is the Fool as well, and so I feel like your friends, they see you as someone who is still like still very a lot of fun to be like, whenever they get you in a fun setting, like whenever they go on an adventure with you, go on some journey with you, go on vacation with you, like it's always very fun. Like, it's always like you're always ready to do some new things that you've never done before. Like, and I think your friends like that side of you. They just feel like they don't really get that side of you that much anymore, because now it might all be about your, like, now you might be so busy with your job and maybe diapers and, like, I don't know if you have children, but like I think your friends might just feel like there's so much going on in your life and you never really just get time to just sit on a beach somewhere or like go on a spa resort or something like that. And I think they want you to kind of do that with them. I feel like sometimes your friends, they arrange some of those get-togethers where they might go to some spa resort or go clubbing or go to a fancy restaurant together or something, and they might have these mini get-togethers, and I feel like you're always invited to those things, but you never go. Or maybe you only go sometimes, but I think your friends kind of want you to maybe go a bit more often to some of these things that they invite you to. There might also have been some parties and some weddings or some bachelorette parties or something like that, I don't know, that you might have missed because you had to work, and maybe your friends feel like that was a bit of a shame because you would have been the light of the party. They really missed you because you are always very fun to be around. So it's a bit empty when you're not there. So, and you have a very light energy. You're very bright and shining, and so you light up the party. You raise the vibration of the party, and so I think they just want you there. But they also understand why you can't go. Like, they understand that you have other obligations, and so they understand it, but they have a hard time coping with it because you are a very good friend to your friends. Like, they really see you as a very important member of their friend group, or of I don't know if there is a friend group, of course, but I just feel like your friends see you as a very important friend. Like, individually, they see you as one of their best friends. So, or at least one of their closest friends. Like, so I think they describe you as that, as one of their closest friends. So, but I think that's all I have for you, group number 4. I hope this reading was helpful, and have a great day, and bye. Hello, group number 5. You chose the Hermetic Tarot deck, and I'm going to start with some channeling, and then I'm going to shuffle these cards for you. So I'm going to do the channeling now. So, Spirit, can you answer this question for group number 5, the people who will choose group number 5? How would group number 5's friends describe group number 5? Okay, so I'm sensing that some of your friends, like, they see you as this lucky bastard, like that you have been blessed with a lot of things that you're very good at, like that you're very talented, and maybe some of your friends feel like, I feel like they would describe you as someone who doesn't even know how fucking great you are. Like, I shouldn't have said the F word, I'm sorry, but like it's like you've been blessed with the ability to do everything, like even things that you have never done before, like the things that, like, I feel like if you and your friends do something that none of you have ever done before, like maybe table tennis or something like that, where like none of you have played it before, like that. I know that's a unrealistic scenario because everybody has played table tennis, but like but take that scenario nevertheless, like you and I think your friends just see you as this person who's just naturally gifted at everything, like naturally good at everything, like everything you do, even when it's your first time, you just excel at it. And it's kind of like they love you. They also find it a bit infuriating, frustrating to that you're so good at everything, and that you're also so damn humble about it. Like it's like they can't be mad at you because you're so humble all the time, and like you're not cocky, you're not arrogant. And so if you had been cocky or arrogant, they could have just gone at you and been like hard on you for being so arrogant, but they can't because you're not either of that. Like you're not cocky or arrogant. But I feel like there's a lot of love here from your friends. I feel like they see you as like someone who is very fun. Like they see you as someone who's very fun to be around. But it's like I'm also sensing something about you having very good flirting skills, and it's like watching you flirt with people is like magic, because you say all the wrong things, but people fall in love with you. And I feel like your friends are having a laugh right now. Like they like I can kind of picture them right now, and I feel like you have some very fun friends, like very and I think they see you as fun as well, like that you're a very integrated part of the friend group. I feel like there is a friend group here, but maybe not for all of you, but I feel like there is some maybe a mini group. Like it might not be the biggest friend group, but I think it's like they like you. They and they would describe you as, I feel like they would describe you as a bit lazy also, like that, but it's mostly because like you're so talented and skilled, and they feel like you got through like high school easily, like that maybe you even got through university very easily. I don't know, but like it's like your friends just see you as someone who is lucky because you've never had to struggle with learning, like that you've always been naturally gifted. And maybe they don't actually know how much effort you actually put into it. Like maybe you also are very humble, or like maybe you like to downplay the amount of effort that you put into what you do. And like if you go to an exam, like, or if you went to an exam in the past, you might have said, of course you have been to an exam. Like I said that in a weird way, but like but yeah, I think you might have told your friends after an exam that it went horribly or something like that, and then like the grades came up, and then you got straight A's. And I think that's maybe just one story that your friends have about you, but I think there are other stories as well, and it kind of paints a picture that you're someone who always downplays yourself, always tells people that you're bad at things, but then you're actually like really good, like that. but yeah, but there is also a part of like I feel like there might also be something about you telling your friends that you didn't study for some of the exams that you went to, and I think that's where the lazy part gets it like comes into play. I think your friends see you as lazy because you have excelled at exams that you claimed to have not read a page for, like not read anything of the curriculum in order to pass the test or the exam. Like you didn't read any of that, or maybe you said that you didn't, and maybe you did, but you said it maybe because you didn't want people to feel bad for you if you failed, or if maybe you just felt like it would make the expectations lower so that it would be easier for you to impress people or not disappoint people. Like, so maybe it's just a defense mechanism in order to get the target off your back, so that you don't, because it creates a target on your back to tell people that, oh, you read the whole curriculum and you just studied day in and day out for an exam. Like then people expect you to actually get straight A's. But if you say to people that you didn't study at all, then there's no expectations. And so I get why you would say that to your friends, but I think your friends might have taken it literally and thought actually that it was true what you said, which is, of course, like, which makes sense. I guess people always assume that people are saying the truth, or telling the truth. I think so. I think they just might have, especially in your school years, like if you went to school with some of your friends, I think they thought of you as slightly lazy back then, but that you're also very lucky because you always seem to excel at everything, even though you might take the easy way out sometimes. But yeah. So I'm gonna shuffle. So with the 3 of Cups, I think your friends see you as someone who's very fun to be around, very fun to party with. And that you're good at distractions. Like you're good at being the distraction and also letting other people distract you. Like if you're studying for a test, you might be very easy to talk into going out and clubbing while you're actually supposed to be studying. And so maybe I think your friends feel like you're very easy to distract. But that you are maybe also kind of a distraction for them sometimes, and that I think your friends just feel like you're good at distracting each other, you and your friends, like that yeah. I think your friends also feel like you would probably be better off without them in some sense. That maybe your friends feel like they are like pulling you down in a way. I don't know what about that, but like it was just something that came through. But with the 7 of Cups, I think your friends would describe you as a visionary, someone who might have a photographic memory, and And maybe they feel like that is also why you're lazy, because you can just look at like a page and you don't even have to read it, and then you can just memorize it by looking at it, and then you can just go to an exam and then you can remember what you saw, whereas normal people can't do that. I don't know, that might be specific for some of you. But they might have, like, even if you don't have photographic memory, then I think they might assume that you have, or they might speculate whether you have photographic memory or not, because I think they see you just excelling at everything with very little effort, and I think they just assume that it might be because you're very brilliant, either that you have a very high IQ or that you have photographic memory, and that might also be kind of this there's some I'm gonna shuffle some more. With a 6 of Cups reversed, I think they see you as someone who is very like someone who doesn't seem to have a lot of nostalgia, that you're maybe not very sentimental when it comes to talking about the past. Like you don't really, maybe you kind of get a bit irritated when people start talking about, oh, do you remember that time when we got drunk in the park somewhere? And like maybe it kind of bums you out when you maybe one of your friends want to bring up the past while you're out clubbing or partying or being at a bar together and creating new memories. Maybe you feel like it's weird that these past memories have to like be like a shadow on, or like outshine the memory that you're currently creating, something like that. But I think your friends would describe you as maybe, maybe not super sentimental, like it's not nostalgic, not someone who brings up the past, someone who's more of a visionary and also likes to think about the future. Someone who's not caught up in past trauma also. Maybe, I don't know, that it seems like maybe some of your friends know that you have been through something difficult, but they just admire how you're able to just move on from it. But there's also maybe something about you not really not really caving into some of those like member berries from South Park, like those like people who like to talk about the past, like, oh, do you remember back when we used to have like normal like phones that were like tied with us, you know, like I don't know, connected to like, well, I don't know, but some people like to talk about the past and certain things, and talk about how like ask people whether they remember those things, and it's kind of it gets kind of annoying sometimes, because like, of course you remember, like you were there, like so yeah, but but it's like some people want to like start a conversation about it, and there's really nothing to talk about. It's just, but I guess people just do it for small talk, and it's okay, small talk. But I think maybe you don't really like that, and maybe you don't even like small talk that much. Like it's, and maybe like the whole thing about taking something from the past and making it hip again, like I don't know, maybe you kind of, maybe your friends would describe you as someone who doesn't give two F's about like these new trends about taking the 90s back to the now. And maybe it's because like you were maybe a child in the 90s or maybe a teenager in the 90s, and if you were, like, then maybe you feel like that was not really an era that needs to be praised that much. Like it wasn't a very good era when it comes to clothing, and so it might be a bit silly for you, or you might feel like it's a bit silly that it's kind of getting in again, like it's yeah, but there might be something about that. With the Nine of Wands, I feel like your friends would describe you as very strong, like you're very resilient, like you're I think they see you as someone who can do anything, who can manage anything, and that you're also very good at reacting to things in your life, things going sideways. And I think it has something to do with you being a visionary too. I think you have some kind of vision of the future. I think you might also have a clear vision of the future. So maybe you have some psychic abilities, and so maybe you know that you shouldn't always think about the worst case scenario, especially if you know that the worst case scenario is not going to happen. So I think you're not someone who gets super anxious about things in the future that you know aren't going to happen. Like you're not sitting around stressing about I don't know. It's I think you know that things are gonna turn out okay, and I think that's maybe also why you're not psyching yourself out whenever you have to do something, especially when you have to do something new, something that you haven't done before. I think other people might psych themselves out because they know they haven't done it before, and so they get stressed out and nervous that that they're gonna do it wrong. But I think you just know it's gonna be okay. Like everything's gonna work itself out. Like you're not stressing so much about it, maybe because you know deep down, intuitively, that things are gonna work out in your favor, and so there's nothing to be that needs nothing to be worried about. So yeah. And if you knew that it wouldn't work out in your favor, you would probably just not do it. So that's also insight that gives you an advantage in life. That you know beforehand whether something is going to work out or not, so that you can steer clear of it if it isn't going to work out, and then you can just go confidently into it if you know it's going to work out. So it's and that might create this illusion towards your friends that you're lucky and that everything you touch turns to gold. But it isn't that everything you touch turns to gold. It's that the things that wouldn't turn to gold, you just steer clear of those things. You don't do those things. And so, yeah. But that is an advantage, and so it makes sense that they might be a bit like envious maybe of that. But I think your friends really like you. They put you up on a pedestal a bit. Like, I think they see you as very talented and very skilled and and very smart. But yeah, I think that's all I have for you, group number 5. I hope this reading was helpful, and have a great day, and bye. Hello, group number 6. You chose the Icelandic Tarot deck, and I'm going to start with some channeling, and then I'm going to shuffle these cards for you. So I'm going to do the channeling now. So, Spirit, can you answer this question for group number 6, the people who will choose group number 6? How would group number 6's friends describe group number 6? Okay, so I think your friends would describe you as a hard worker, as someone who gives your everything. Like, you really just pour your heart and soul into everything you do, and you're not afraid of doing more than is necessary. Like, you're not someone who just does the bare minimum and then you just call it a day and then you go home. Like, you're not. You're someone who always. You're always doing the most work that you can do, like, and maybe more than what you can do, like more than your body allows you to. Like, sometimes you might overstress your body, but you just don't want to turn anyone down. You don't want to disappoint people. You want to be there for everyone. And I think your friends, they see you as someone who's just like really, like, you have a drive and you have a motivation that is beyond, like, and I think your friends are like, they really respect you. They don't understand how you can do it. Like, they feel like if they were in your position, they wouldn't be able to do all the things that you can do. Like, and I feel like this has to do with your career, maybe. Like, but it might also be the way that you balance your career and your everyday life, like, or your family life, or like that you do so much and you still manage to find time and energy to help your friends. Even after a long, hard day at work, you still are available to them if they need you. And it's like they just see you as like this endless source of energy. Like, it's like nothing can really empty that energy. Like, it's like your and I don't know if that's how it truly is for you. I think maybe for some of you, you might put up a front and like act like it's all okay, even though maybe you are doing all these things because you have a hard time saying no. So maybe sometimes you do some things that you really don't have energy for or time for, but you just do it and you smile and you act like it's all okay, but maybe it really truly isn't. Like, but I feel like you're not the type of person who would complain about that. Like you're so yeah, with the Emperor, I think this card, it says leadership, authority and ambition, worldly power, self-control, a great person. And I think that actually describes you quite well. I think they see you as a leader, someone. I think you're doing really great at work, like at in your career. I think I think for some of you, you might have a rather high position, and but for those of you who don't, I think your friends feel like you should have, like you should be a boss, you should be a leader. Like if you're not a boss, then I think they feel like maybe you're selling yourself too short, because you could easily manage a whole enterprise, or like, I don't know. With the Tower reversed, I feel like I feel like your friends would describe you as someone who fixes things, that you're a problem solver. You're someone who always knows what to do, even in very heated situations where it's really hard to see the solution. You seem to always have the solution to the problem. And I think your friends just see you as this person who can turn things around even when things are going sideways. And like you're maybe also a very good driver. Like you're maybe very good at addressing a situation, navigating, making sure that no catastrophes happen on the road or anywhere. But like, and also in your friendships, like you're very good at being very diplomatic. Maybe also good at like at helping people maintain their friendships by maybe talking people down. Like if one of your friends come to you and tell you that they have a dispute with another friend or with someone that you don't know, I don't know, maybe just a stranger to you, but maybe your friend explains the situation to you, and I think you can give your friends the objective point of view, like being this diplomatic person that can actually tell them that that maybe it's a misunderstanding, maybe it isn't, like that maybe the person that made your friend mad didn't mean it like that. Or like, I think you're very good at addressing a situation and calming your friends down so that they don't write an angry text or call their ex or something. Like, I don't know. With the Two of Cups, I think this card. Okay, so the card says the card of love, new friend or partnership, engagement and passion. And I think your friends see you as someone who's also very good at making new friends, and also maybe introducing new friends to to your current friends, and like making the friend group larger, and that you're someone who, like, I think they would describe you as someone who's very loving, caring, and compassionate, very supportive, very helpful, someone who's a giver, not a taker, like that you give more than you take. With the Ace of Batons, it says birth, new start, creativity, fertility, strong-willed, artistic inspiration. Okay, strong-willed and autistic inspiration. I don't know, but I think your friends would describe you as someone who's very creative, someone who comes up with creative solutions, someone who comes up with solutions that they have never thought of before. Like, maybe you're also good at fixing things, like around the house, like, or like maybe you're good at like engineering and mechanics, and maybe you could easily fix a car. Maybe you're very good at like understanding mechanisms. Like maybe you have like kind of a maybe you can just see through, like if you looked into a car engine, like even if you haven't looked at one before, you might still be able to understand how it works and what is wrong with it. So you might have like some kind of like sort of brilliant skills when it comes to like mechanics, and or your friends feel that way at least. I think your friends see you as someone who comes up with creative solutions, someone who can fix an engine, or if somebody has a leak in their bathroom, or like that you somehow know how to fix it, or how to make the cold water come again, or the hot water come again in the shower, or something like that. You might be someone who knows how to like do some tricks to make things work, like fixing things by maybe wiggling something, or like doing like some repetitive thing twice, or like that sometimes it's all about just doing a bunch of random things, and then magically it's the hot water is going to come on again, like that you might be able to figure that sort of stuff out, like. And that's maybe also why your friends call you whenever they have a problem. It's because they know you have that magical hand that can just fix anything. With the Queen of Coins, I feel like your friends would describe you as sensible, loving, comforting, and generous. And so I think they see you also as very helpful, very generous. Like what's yours is what's yours are theirs. Like that they feel like you're sharing what you have with your friends. Like you're not someone who like if you gave one of your friends a can of Coke, you wouldn't ask them to bring you back the can so that you can recycle it. I don't know if that's a thing everywhere, because like I know that in other countries people don't get money for recycling cans, but we get money for recycling cans in Denmark. So some people in Denmark, like I know it's very few people would actually ask someone to give back the can if they offer someone a can of Coke to drink. Like, so, yeah. But yeah, I think you're not very cheap, and I think your friends would describe you as that, as generous, not cheap, not someone who goes, who yeah, that's just, I think that's how they would describe you. Very, very good things here. Like, it's very, very nice, actually. But I did sense in the channeling that there was something about some of your friends feeling like you're selling yourself too short, maybe at your work. Maybe they feel like you're working really hard and not earning what you should be earning. That they feel like maybe you're being scammed a bit at work, like that they are taking advantage of you, taking advantage of your good heart and your goodwill, so I think they feel like you should be paid more, so yeah. But that's just because your friends value, see you as someone who brings a lot to the table, that there's a lot of value in you, and that you might sometimes forget how valuable you actually are, and then they feel like you might end up selling yourself too short, and maybe because you're so nice, like maybe you don't want your boss or your employer to pay you a lot, maybe because you feel like it would also harm your employer, like that maybe you feel bad for your workplace, like if you're working in a restaurant, or like I don't know where you're working, but if you're working in some kind of company that you feel very strongly for, and you want it to be a success, you want it to thrive, then maybe you feel like it's a small sacrifice to get a bit less pay in order to be sure that this company is actually gonna make it in the future. I don't know, but that's maybe, but I feel like for some of you, you might work alone, or you might have your own business, and then maybe you might sell your services too cheap, or maybe your friends feel like you could easily demand more money, but you're not, because you feel like everyone should afford to use your services. So maybe that is why you've cramped down the price. And I think your friends feel like you should value yourself more, and even if you lost a few customers, then at least you would be getting the price that you deserve. So yeah, but I think that's all I have for you, group number 6. I hope this reading was helpful, and if it was, please check my guide in the description box below. I have a guide on how to book a personal reading from me, so check that out. So yeah, and have a great day, and bye. Hello, group number 7. You chose the Cook's Tarot, and I'm going to start with some channeling, and then I'm going to shuffle these cards for you. So I'm going to do the channeling now. So Spirit, can you answer this question for group number 7, the people who will choose group number 7? How would their friends describe them? Okay, so I'm sensing that your friends would describe you as someone who is way too hard on yourself. Like that you should be so much more confident, or that you deserve to be more confident in some way, or I don't know, but it's like your friends just want you to be more happy with who you are, and especially with your body. I think maybe some of your friends know that you have some issues with the way you look, or maybe you have kind of told your friends that you don't always like the way you look, or that you sometimes get a bit self-conscious about certain things about your body, and I think your friends just feel like that's nonsense. That of course they understand that this is how you feel, but I feel like they just don't agree with you that this is something to be self-conscious about, even though of course you have the right to be self-conscious about it, but they just see it differently. They see that you have nothing to worry about, like when it comes to that insecurity that you have, and I just feel like they want you to see you the way that they see you, like that it would be such a good experience for you if that was possible, if you could borrow their eyes just for one day and use them to look at you, like go into their body, you know, and like just if you could trade places, like possess each other for one day and just look at each other, and like I think you would be able to see how your friends are seeing you. And if that, I feel like your friends just want you to be able to see you from their perspective, from their point of view, because then you would realize that you're beautiful and that you have always been beautiful, and that this thing that you're insecure about, nobody else notice that, even like they so with the Ace of Wands, I feel like your friends see you as like if your friends would describe you as very creative, very passionate, very like you have such a drive and such a motivation, like whenever you talk about something that interests you, you light up and you become this confident person that they wish you were always. And I feel like they love hearing you talk about the things that you know a lot about, because it's like the cockiness that comes out is so refreshing, because you're usually very humble and maybe a bit withdrawn, and I think your friends would wish that you were like that all the time. And I know that it's like, it sounds a bit like they are, I know it sounds a bit negative, but it's not. It's actually super positive. They just want your personality to shine through, and they feel like you're holding yourself back at the moment. You're not showing who you are, and that sometimes it seems like you have a lot to say, but you're not saying it because maybe you get a bit nervous around certain people, and maybe you have some social anxiety, and maybe that is also what you're self-conscious about. I just imagined in the channeling that it was maybe about something about like your body or weight or or the way you look or something, but it could also be your be you being self-conscious about the way you act around people, that maybe you feel like you're not social enough and you're not saying the right things, or that maybe you have a stutter, or maybe some of you have. I know that it's not all of you, and it's just, yeah, some of you, and maybe you see it as a very big deal, but I think your friends want you to realize that they don't see it as any obstacle at all, or not for them at least. I know that it's for you, it's an obstacle, but if you feel like you're a burden to them, like if you have a stutter, for instance, you might feel like you're a burden towards your friends because they have to wait and be patient with you, and so you might feel like they are doing you a favor by being so patient, but they just don't want you to think that way, because that's not at all how they see it. They have absolutely no problem waiting for what you have to say, because they know that when you get there, it's gonna be gold. It's like, so they don't mind waiting for it. They love doing it. Like, they love waiting for it because they kind of like the anticipation of what you're gonna say. So it's not a problem for them, and they just wish that you could see that. And I think your friends, they see you as very awesome. They know that you have that you have a great personality, and they just, I feel like when they are just around you, like when you're comfortable around them, maybe you don't stutter around them, when you're just around your friends and there's no like imposter in the group, or no stranger who makes you nervous. I think you might not have those things that you might struggle with when there's when there's a stranger in the room. But I think when you're just around your friends, I think you're much more relaxed, and you have an easier time being yourself and being your authentic self around them. And I think your friends see that person that you are when you're comfortable. They see that person as like a star, like that you have a lot of star quality when you're comfortable, when you're just sitting around with them and being comfortable around them, and they kind of feel like it's such a shame that you have either this social anxiety or this these things that you are struggling with when you're around people that you don't know, because you could easily like be up on a stage or like entertain people if you were just the way that, if you just showed people the personality that you have on the inside, that you only show to very few people. And if you got more confident, and if you got more loose and loosened up and got more comfortable showing people that side of you, I think your friends just wishes that you could do that, because they feel like you could easily become a star. You could easily become the next, like, I don't know, Kardashian, or I don't know, not Kardashian, but I don't know. There's just something about you that has that it factor, where people would fall in love with you instantly if you showed that funny, charming side of you that you only show to very few people. So, but yeah, with the Three of Cups reversed, I think your friends, they might describe you as someone who has a bit of a hard time warming up to people, that you have a hard time getting out of your shell, that you have to trust the person that you talk to. If you don't trust the person, you can't trust them with your true personality. Then you have to show them this this decoy personality, so that they can't hurt you, because you can maybe you have been hurt by some people in the past, where people might have used some of the information that you shared with them against you, and maybe that made you afraid of sharing personal information with people again, like that it has kept you from doing that ever since. And maybe I feel like your friends just want you to be able to trust people again, because they feel like it's a shame. But I'm gonna shuffle some more cards about about how your friends would describe you. Okay, with the Hanged Man, I think your friends would describe you as someone who can see the world upside down. Like, you have this unique point of view. You're very good at saying things that nobody else has thought of before. Like, that I think your friends would describe you as someone who really has a lot of like golden eggs, or like, I don't know, like that you have so many standpoints and opinions and points of view that are out of this world. Like, it's so unique, kind of alien in a way, where sometimes your friends are just baffled by what you say. Like, sometimes they just don't believe that, like, I feel like some of your friends just feel very enlightened after talking to you, like that you broaden their horizon, that you know a lot about some things that not a lot of people know about. Like, you might be very interested in maybe spirituality or religion or philosophy or something like that, and it might be something that you read a lot about. And I think your friends just feel like every time they have had a conversation with you, they feel like you have taught them something, or introduced them to a concept that they never knew existed. And so they feel like you have so much interesting stuff to talk about, and that it's so weird that it seems like you don't know what to talk about whenever you are in a setting with a lot of strangers, that it seems like you feel awkward, and you don't know how to fill out the awkward silence, and you don't know what to say or what to talk about. Yeah. And I think, and I feel like your friends just don't understand this problem that you have. Like, they don't get it, because it's like when you are just talking to your friends, you have so much to say. You can talk about everything. You have, like, you have absolutely no problem finding a topic to talk about when you're talking to your close friends. But when you're talking to strangers, you have nothing. And I think maybe your friends have not witnessed this, but maybe they have heard you talk about this. Maybe you have complained about this to your friends, that you find it so annoying that you can't find anything to talk about with strangers, or maybe you have also said that you feel like you're very bad at small talk, and I think your friends just find that really odd, because they see you as very good at small talk, that it's like you always have something to talk about, something to say, like you, if like you also know a lot about pop culture, I think, and you have seen a lot of TV shows, and so you have a lot to talk to people about, and you have especially a lot to talk to your friends about. But it's like you might have that mental barrier where it's like it's harder to do with strangers that you don't know. Of course you don't know how the person is gonna receive some of the things that you say. Like if you talk about a TV show and the stranger just shooks their head and says that they never watch television, then of course then it's a bit awkward. Yes, like so I get that. Like it's much easier to talk to friends than it is to strangers. Like and I don't know why your friends don't seem to understand this problem. Maybe they are all kind of extroverted and they don't really understand what the problem is. But yeah, but they see you as very funny, smart, interesting, a completely different person around your friends, around your close friends than you are when you're out, like when you're at a bar, or like when you're conversing with strangers at a bar. You might go very quiet and silent, and I think your friends think that's a bit of a shame, but they get it. They know that that's just how you are, but they wish that you could feel comfortable around strangers. And yeah. So they might also feel like maybe if some of your friends have partners, then they might have introduced their partners to you, and you might have gone a bit silent and didn't really know what to talk to them about, and maybe you kind of felt like you didn't really have anything in common, and maybe one of them was even talking a different language than you were talking, or speaking a different language, and like maybe it was a general language, like maybe English, if English is maybe not the native tongue in the country that you live in, and so and maybe you're not speaking English all the time, but maybe your friend's partner only spoke English with you because they were from a foreign country, or something, I don't know, and maybe you felt a bit awkward because maybe it's a bit awkward speaking a different language that you are fluent at, but kind of not that fluent to the point where you're comfortable just talking it like to a stranger, and maybe you're also self-conscious about it and a perfectionist, and you want to do it perfectly, and so maybe it was just a bit awkward, and so you would rather just be silent, and maybe your friend felt like that was a bit annoying because this friend had been speaking, had been putting you up on a pedestal towards their partner and told them that you're so funny and so interesting, and that you always have some fun angles to talk about, like funny points of view, and always have some cheeky remark to say, and like maybe this person had shared with their partner how you were towards your friend, but maybe your friend didn't take it into account that that's only how you are towards your friend and not towards strangers, and so maybe they just forgot that for a moment, and so they thought you would be the same way towards their partner as you are towards them. But But so there might be some feeling of like that they would wish you could get through that barrier so that they could introduce you to their friends and their partners and their family, and like so that there could be more like social mingling going on. So yeah, but they see you as amazing, especially when they talk to you in a comfortable setting. So yeah, they value you a lot as a friend, and they wouldn't want to lose you as a friend. They really see you as one of their close, like I think most of your friends see you as one of their close friends, like closest friends. So yeah, but I think that's all I have for you. Group number 7. I hope this reading was helpful. And if it was, please subscribe to my channel. And if you want a personal reading from me, check the description box below for more information on how to get a personal reading from me. And have a great day, and bye.